right, I have a special guest for y'all. Say hello to
Hello.
Harry Potter Wizards Unite, Lola, community manager. Well, Lola, I don't think I'm the only one in here who would love to say thank you for all of the work that you've done. I mean, basically, you came in here. When did you start your taking over? Because I know it was during the pandemic, so I'm sure it was not easy to navigate as we were trying to figure out what was going on.
Yeah, I actually started on the Harry Potter team like the week of launch. So I came in and it was all like exciting, hurrah, and then also like scary because there was so much to do. And I was first working more on the support side, which I still do. If you've ever written into our support for help, all of our agents are super amazing and super awesome. And I've kind of helped manage them. And then I think like around COVID started is when I became more of a presence on Discord and Reddit, which has been really fun. I feel like a lot of you kept me company during like the very lonely COVID moments. Like I would attend a lot of your live streams and like chat with people for fun. So it definitely helped keep me sane. So I appreciate you all a lot.
Oh, for sure. It's been a lot of fun. I mean, despite all of the challenges that, I mean, not just like for me for work and trying to teach online and all of that, but just trying to figure out how do we build social connection with people in a time when we're not supposed to really be congregating with people. I do feel like the Wizards Unite community has been great for coming together. As small as we may be, we are mighty and strong. And also, I think the night bus definitely contributed to that as well. All right, so speaking of the night bus, while we chat for a few minutes, I'm going to actually start beaconing for anyone who wants to hop on the night bus. I have a couple of Harry Potter questions. Oh, I just realized I didn't do Harry Potter trivia. We can do that after. I have a couple of Harry Potter questions, if you don't mind. Okay, first, who is your favorite character?
Luna Lovegood,
very
hands
important.
down. She is my favorite.
Oh yeah, I love Hermione. I think that's also why in game, like I just love how smart she is and how she puts things together. I really appreciated the adult Hermione that we got to hang out with during the game.
Yeah, it is cool. I just actually rewatched all 7 of the movies last weekend, and it was very hard to watch the last final train scene, and also thinking about how like this Sunday is like our final thing. So like my Harry Potter emotions are all over the place this week.
Yeah, I bet. Oh no. Well, because did you watch the reunion, or were you able to watch the reunion?
Oh, of course, yeah. Like January 1st, my sister actually is a huge Harry Potter fan. Like the top fan I know, and she's obviously very jealous of this life I have. Like January 1st, first thing in the morning, we put on all of our Harry Potter swag, brought down our wands, and just like watch, and it was so good.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Do you have a favorite movie?
I think I like the 5th because I really just like how playful they are and how it's kind of fun. I like the more cheerful parts of the movies, like 75% in when they all get dark. I'm always like, maybe I'll pause.
Oh my gosh. I think I'm weird because I love the darkness. Like I also like watching things that make me cry, like that cathartic experience of just like letting everything go. So I'm always like, I know I'm going to cry at like certain moments. Like it doesn't matter. Like Dobby dying, it always makes me bawl my eyes out. Oh my goodness. I don't think Lola can share any secrets, plot secrets with us, but I would love to know, what are your thoughts on Tony, just as a fan?
on our created character.
Our created character.
Really lost. I did ask my team, like, who is this? And the only insight I got was he was based off of someone who was working on the product at the time, but there was no like story. Even I was like, is there gonna be a story tie-in? But that never happened. But I think he's great. Hope to see him in other things in the future. Like, I don't know if he's a good guy or a bad guy still, but he's funny.
Yeah, sometimes he looks totally dazed and confused, where he's just like, oh,
Yeah.
what's this, a wand? And other times he's just like, well, the one with Bellatrix where he kind of swats at her. Though, to be fair, if I were with a portrait of Bellatrix and she was just taunting me, I'd probably do the same, even if I didn't know who she was.
Oh, totally.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, I don't know how much you can talk about the game, but we have some questions about if there's any Easter eggs in the game that you are aware of or that might be alluded to. I think that there were a couple. So I don't know if you were there. I went to a panel July 31st, 2019. Or wait, was it 2019? Yeah, it was 2019 at the Apple Store in Union Square.
I was there.
Okay, I didn't meet you. Yeah, we could have met.
Oh, I'm so bummed. I was still like that was like still my second month. So I was just like observing everything.
Yeah, so Mary Casey was saying like a couple of things. Like one of the things was about her cats are always in the games that she produces, and so I remember like the first couple of months I'd be like looking, being like, is this her cat? Is this her cat? But is there anything that maybe you could? I mean, no is a perfectly fine answer in terms of Easter eggs.
I don't know of any, and I wonder if there were. Like I joined when the game launched, so a lot of those decisions were made in the years before by our like amazing designers, but I wasn't too involved in that part, so I actually am not aware. I feel like our team is really cheeky and fun. I feel like there must be something.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would love to have been just a fly on the wall in the room when Constance Pickering was being conceptualized of like, who is she? What's her deal? What motivates her? How is she gonna fit in? How is she even gonna become involved? Because it must be hard introducing new characters to a very established, robust world that everyone, of course, loves. And then to have her be kind of the main person that we talk to over and over without it seeming, because it just seems like she had a lot of depth to her, and that's what I appreciated about Constance. Obviously, I love her so much because I dress up as her.
Oh, when I first read, I probably got the insight to the story ending around, like the whole story wrap up around like October, and as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, Lynette is going to be so satisfied. But she's great, and our writer is super awesome and like super creative. Like I would meet with her every other week just to like link up on the story, and like I'm always like reading your Discord and getting ideas, and I let her know like people don't like.
Wait, my Discord?
You have that like secret story Discord, and like we would read that and be like,
oh my god,
at the different like conspiracy theories and like.
Okay, so that. I wondered that, and some other people have wondered that, but I felt like it was too like, I don't know, pretentious of me to be like, oh yeah, they're clearly watching and seeing what we're talking about. That's awesome. I mean, I think that's what's great is that like, well, because the reason I brought up Tony is because I saw a forum post where you were just like, oh, I'm going with what the community is saying, like his name is Tony, and just
it's official now.
Yeah, just really embracing how it kind of, so yeah, you create the game, or the team creates the game and the story, but then there's also the community co-creation of like, what totally. Do people gravitate towards or not?
Like if there's not yet, like Brita should definitely write a Wizards Unite Hub article on him, and I would love to see what you come up with.
Brita, there you go. Oh, okay, I forgot to do my Bean Boozle. I just see we're at 50 likes, so I'm gonna do a Bean Boozle. If have you partaken in the Birdie Bots every flavor beans?
I think I've had them. Like I said, my sister is like being such a big fan. Like we've had all the different Harry Potter snacks and swag in our house. I'm usually always nervous, and that color is not looking so nice. So good luck.
I think it's sausage. Oh gosh, it's so disgusting. Like it's a brilliant idea to like market and be like, oh yeah, we're gonna have really delicious beans and some disgusting ones, but some of these really taste. I just can't. All right, what other questions do y'all have for Lola?
Oh, I'm a Hufflepuff, for those who ask.
I have not been keeping up with chat, so that was a list. Oh, I have a question. Okay, so adversaries. I know that there are probably technically more quote-unquote bad or evil people that we could put in the wizarding world or as adversaries, but of the adversaries that we have in game, which one was like your most satisfying? Like, oh, I can't wait to take down blank.
Definitely Umbridge, because she's awful.
Umbridge is the worst. That's a popular answer. She is absolutely the worst. I just got into the night bus. What did the devs think about our finding ways to night bus together? And you can just speak on behalf of yourself, or you can pass.
We love it. Like, I think I think this is, I didn't know this before, but that is a pretty popular concept, I guess, with a lot of games, people trying to find each other, crashing servers. Like, it was definitely anticipated. And it was just really awesome. I mean, like the timing of the night bus being COVID and like still being able to like hang out with each other. So I'm actually going to be doing a night bus stream with my team tomorrow, which I've never done before. I've never beaconed. So I'm going to have to watch some of your older videos to get some tips.
I can tell you right now. I can explain the process. Well, once I kill this werewolf, I will.
Yeah, I've been trying and I'm awful. Like, I can never find the bus. And then when I finally do, I'm excited. And then I accidentally like X out. So I think last Wednesday I got on with James and I was super excited. But it's, I'm not very good at it.
It can be a challenge. And for sure, like, because I mean, all of that is crowdsourced of like the trick of like, okay, go into Diagon Alley to not time out. Like, there's certain things that people have discovered and shared as tips for finding people. But for night bus purposes, so all these people are beaconing, but if I'm gonna start a beacon, I'm gonna go into, typically we do chambers 2 through 5. Though on some devices, like the screen, you know how different phones are different sizes. So 5 can be a little tricky for some devices to see. So I typically like to go in the 2, 3, 4. And then you go in and you just hang out with whatever runestone. It doesn't matter. You don't have to pick. So I usually just pick whatever first one. And I sit here until other people find me. So what it's going to look like is if I hop onto the bus, I might see these little yellow cookies or these little yellow friend icons. And then I can go in there and check and see, okay, which friend is in here? Because that's just the indicator for the friends. And then I can be like, okay, this is the right bus, or no, this is a parallel night bus with some other group. But the tricky part, it's easy to beacon, in my opinion. It's hard to be the person finding the bus. So that might be the challenge, is hopping on, looking for it, closing out, hopping on, that whole process can be a little tedious.
And I'm excited to see how wild things get on Sunday with everybody night busing together. I'm like, please don't crash on the last day.
Maybe we'll crash everything.
That itself would be kind of a cool, like, go out with a bang.
Let's see. You're probably also looking at the stream, so if there's any questions that stand out to you, instead of me just asking you questions.
I have no idea about the basilisk thing. I actually was, I saw the Reddit post about it, and I never asked, but I don't know what it would mean.
It's funny. It could be an Easter egg, or it could be one of those things like, where your eyes kind of make sense of something that's not really there. It's just like, oh, the design happens to look like letters. I think this group particularly likes hidden messages, coded messages. Totally. That to me, at the very beginning of the game, with the mysteries and having just trying to decode those messages and having to find a book and having to decipher it, and that I think it was a moment that I had, because I had previously played Pokemon Go and was really into the idea of location-based mobile gaming and the sort of community that can be built and how you can promote like local businesses and that sort of aspect of it. But then when that came out in this game, my mind was blown, and I was like, oh no, you can do so much more in terms of crowdsourcing information, solving puzzles and mysteries. And I think Harry Potter was a great IP to explore that a bit.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think it's super fun. And now I'm like really curious about the Easter eggs. I'm going to ask.
The artist's signature on the basilisk staff, is that what you're saying? Because that would be cool. Like if I could draw or be, like do any artistic thing, I would just hide my signature or like my my little secret code somewhere in there. What profession are you in game, or are you a multi-professioned player?
I've been doing professor since the start. My like OG like friends that I started work with, like we each took one when we were like playtesting. So yeah, I was a professor and I stuck with it. I like will switch around now and then, but I like the purple.
The purple is great.
I'm also, a fun fact, still, I never chose a house for my character because we had a joke at work, which I'm sure you've had the same about Team Purple.
Oh, yeah.
And when you chose, you can never go backwards. So I still have purple magical me.
Oh, that's awesome. Does anyone else here have a purple magical me? I remember holding on for a while, like once we discovered that. Although actually, maybe it wasn't me holding on to it. I remember somebody holding on to that. Now I get my memories mixed up. Was it me or was it someone else? I don't know. What has been your favorite part about the game itself?
I really love the port keys. Like I will save them all up and have like a port key evening where I just like open one and like explore. I think we just did such a good, like the artist did such a good job with them. Like the most recent one with like the Hogwarts boathouse is so nice and they're so relaxing and the music is good. Like I want to go find like the 3D photos and like save them all for like future memories.
Yeah. It would be super cool because oh my gosh, there was an artist I found, I can't remember their name, but they had like an ArtStation page. And so I remember stumbling upon it, or maybe it was because someone posted it on Reddit, something, I don't remember. And I remember like going in there and looking at it was just kind of mock-ups of different locations. It wasn't all of them. It was just like a couple samples like for a portfolio. And it definitely, I feel like the port keys, I agree. It really brought that magical element where, again, like from an AR perspective of like, there's this world that you can uncover and it's in a 360 format. Port keys are really, really cool.
Now there was one YouTuber who, I'm not sure if he still plays, but in the beginning he would do super interactive port key videos, would be like walking around the room, like under his desk to find like every angle. And we loved those. We would watch all of them, so entertained about just like how into the magical world that people would get.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Wizards News. James, right? I don't know if Lola can tell you these secrets, y'all. You keep asking.
Yeah, sorry, my lips are sealed for a lot of things.
Did you take community suggestions for the port keys? I'm sure there were probably plenty of other locations like on the docket for port key exploration.
Yeah, I think there were. I don't know how those game design decisions were made, to be honest. But I think, we just had the events in mind and just thought about what would be correct with the theme. Towards like the end, I did get a list of like, we got all the ones out that we had ready, but they put me in charge of like assigning them to the brilliant events based on like the theme. So like, hopefully I did a good job. But I was like, I felt like we were reusing some a lot. And I was like, okay, like I'm just going to decide this from now on. So I enjoyed having that power.
Well, the cool thing about like being in a community manager role is like, I mean, it's cool, but it's also probably tough. Like you're kind of like you're in all of the different stakeholder. My dog is hiccuping or something. I don't know what he's doing. You're in these different, conversations. So like on the development side and then also on the player side, but then also being a player yourself. And so having all of those kind of experiences and perspectives and then being able to, figure out, okay, what works best for all the parties involved and getting that magical experience that I think a lot of people, because everyone here is a Harry Potter fan, obviously, but like bringing that to life as well.
Yeah, definitely. It was, I'll be honest, like when I first started, I was like pretty shy when it came to like, giving feedback and talking to the wider team. And then over time with this role and like with really supportive managers, I definitely found my voice and like, ended up helping create a lot of events and like really grew with this position. And so it was fun. It's exciting to have all that power and like be that voice in the room. Like I hope I did an okay job representing all of you. But it was a really good time.
Yeah. Well, now I'm just cycling through all of the opportunities we probably could have met but didn't. So Indianapolis, LA launch event. Like, I'm just like,
I
Lola's
know.
just probably there.
I know. I was at FanFest. I was definitely like, I'm not a shy person, but I think just with the role of like community manager, I've been more not wanting to be in the spotlight. So I definitely saw a lot of people, but like didn't want to identify myself as like, oh, I actually like talk to you sometimes online.
Yeah. All right. We have a question about, do you have a favorite Foundable?
Um, Good one.
And anyone in the chat, you can answer with your own favorite Foundable. Mine is Picket.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
because Picket's so tiny and it's super rare to find.
Yeah, Pickett is adorable. I like the troll that gets like boinged on the head. He's kind of funny. And the time turner is fun because sometimes I like thought the app was glitching because it would move so quickly, but I'm like, nope, that's just how it is.
Yeah. Baby Beast was a good addition to like a new page. Like that definitely got my cuteness aggression all
Oh yeah. Oh my
maxed.
gosh, yeah, baby beasts. Yeah, we did just add Pickett to the like boosted foundables. So like I know a lot of people have been looking for Pickett. So hopefully you can find enough. And I'll be honest, like the 10 times, because right now Brufio's works like 10 times as much. And that was totally a selfish ask just because I want to level up a bunch. But I'm glad you guys can take advantage of it too.
Well, I think also, so for someone like me, once we learned that there was tracking of our actual XP, I don't know, some of us are just like competitive. I'm not necessarily a power gamer or anything like that, but it's just like, okay, what is that number? I want to, boost it and get that information from the data, which you saw my PowerPoint presentation. This is where I'm at in my life right now, making PowerPoints about this
Oh,
game.
I know how you love data.
Was the Night Bus being developed before COVID, or was it part of the plan moving forward because of the pandemic?
I'm not sure about that one. Also, like, that wasn't my, yeah, one of those things I'm like, I don't know if I can answer that, so I'll just skip it.
Yeah. You can always skip it. Okay, I just got a high kick, so,
Good luck.
all right, what other things can we talk about with Harry Potter Wizards Unite? I know you'll have lots of questions. Just keep in mind that you probably won't get the answers to most of the things you're asking. Okay, I have a question, though. A question I've asked this group, and I don't know, I might be in the minority here. Do you think Grimm deserves life in Azkaban? The tough questions here.
I don't know. It's hard to say. Azkaban seems kind of scary, so no, but he's yeah.
See, Lola is a Hufflepuff. I told you. Well, she told us. True Hufflepuff. That was the Hufflepuff test.
Yeah, I was like,
I don't know.
It's hard.
See, everyone's against me. I seem like the bad person because I'm just like pro Constance Pickering, and I'm like Grimm deserves life in Azkaban. I don't know. I turned on y'all.
And speaking of Constance, like I just really want to applaud like you and like Frida, Expecto, and like everyone else who just took such a fun, creative like ideas with all of the videos you make. Like every time you would post something, I would like show off to my team as if you like, especially like you three, I was like you were my children, and I would like show off and be like, look what they did today, look what they did. And like the adversaries launch week was so awesome. Like I was so proud, and I was like, oh.
It's a lot of fun because I mean it's great to cover a game, it's great to play a game, to live stream, cover like updates and stuff, but after a while it becomes kind of a routine. It's like, okay, I've done this before.
Definitely.
Yeah, so like I'll just speak on behalf of all of us, even though I don't think I have the authority to do so. But as content creators, I think it's always fun to have a challenge because it's probably different for everyone, but for me, I use it as a learning opportunity. So, I mean, I have a full-time job, and so like this is outside of that. So any chance that I can push myself to be like, oh, I want to learn how to use a green screen to do this or something like that. Every project that is super creative, like, I mean, to be fair, the pandemic really got me, so I'm just kind of like existing here. But for special videos, those were great spaces to be like, okay, what could I do with this? And honestly, the Constance thing just kind of spiraled out of control. I don't like, it started as kind of a joke of like, oh, what if I dressed up as Constance Pickering for Halloween? I don't even think that, was she my Halloween costume? I don't know. Or maybe it was just something that I was like, I'm just going to bring Constance in here. And then I kept doing it. And then it became this weird persona where I was like, I'm Constance Pickering now. You're just going to have to deal with it.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I haven't watched your most recent videos because I'm saving them for a month or two away where I'm feeling really nostalgic and I want some new content. So I've saved everything recently, like I haven't watched it.
Oh my gosh. Connie is evil. No, she's not. I mean, she kind of is, but here, I would love a whole spin-off on Constance Pickering. I hope she does. If anyone from any affiliated Harry Potter future Portkey, whatever, if anyone happens to be watching this, I would love Constance Pickering to come back. I definitely think I'm going to make a character off of her in Hogwarts Legacy. Like, I am 100% Constance Pickering, because we got a lot of just like little tidbits about her, but there's so much more that I'm like, I need to know everything about this person.
Yeah, I hope some people go, I mean, like, y'all are so creative. Like, I hope people do some fan fiction. If there are ever any, please let me know, Lynette, because I will read those. But I think, yeah, our community has been really creative with all this. So I feel like down the line, we're going to see some Constance and Toadie stories.
Y'all heard it here first. Lola wants your fan fiction. So we're not joking about it anymore. We're actually going to do it. All right. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know that you're probably you might be lurking in chat as well. But I just wanted to say thank you again for everything that you've done. Especially, I mean, I don't think I can thank you enough for just, sticking with us and dealing with the ups and downs of navigating the highs and lows of, an ongoing game. Like, a lot of games that are produced every year are just products that are put out there, but something like Wizards Unite is continually ongoing, and so that can be challenging, but also exciting. And so being with the community has been really great, but I just wanted to say that to you and just pass it to you if you want to say anything as Lola.
Yeah, I think I can just echo that 100%. Like, this community has been so kind and supportive and easy to work with. Like, I've never felt, like, a lot of times community management can be a bit scary and players are super passionate, but like, everybody in this community is so nice and so helpful. Like, I would jump to Discord first and like Dave or Kitson would be jumping on, like, letting me know what was going on. And so I just appreciate how involved and how much you've turned this into like more than just a game. And like, I can't say enough about all of the like influencers I worked with, but like, especially like you, Lynette, James, and Brita have been so awesome. And honestly, I like consider you friends forever because we've just chatted so much over this last, I think, couple years now, which is crazy. And it's just been such a positive experience for me. Like, I brag to all of my coworkers about working with y'all because you just make this so easy and fun.
Well, thank you. You have lots of hearts in the chat as well. Lots of thanks. And yeah, come play with us is a suggestion. If you can bear trying to find the bus, you are welcome to play on the night bus with us.
I probably will head out soon because it's evening here, but yes. I really thank you, Lynette, for like encouraging me. Like, if you ask, like, I was pretty shy about joining, but Lynette makes it so easy. So thank you.
Thanks, Lola. All right, everyone say bye, Lola.
Bye.
I'm glad y'all got to hear. I have, I almost muted myself. I have worked with Lola, like she said, for 2 years, but she's also helped me like in a professional capacity. I did a math camp for Fresno, so I wanted a chance for y'all to get to, I mean, it's always hard. Like, a lot of our communication is via text and like there are people behind the screen. And so I just wanted to have the opportunity so that y'all can hear her voice at least. And you know, give her all the good things and love that she deserves. All right, so let's do the high kick. 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 I'm gonna be a cat. I'm a cat, all right. Or I'm not a cat. I can't do my left anymore. It's like, well, my left has always been lower than my right on the kicks, but I'm just not flexible on my left side. It's just true. It's just true. Yeah, right? I'm not gonna polar plunge. Y'all are silly.